Hi guys, it's me again. Inspirational post by Leverson. Right, I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, what I want to talk about today is just being impatient. What I'd like to say about just being impatient is, you know what? We have to take time. We know this, but it seems like not everybody, but there's quite a few people that just want instant success overnight. And that just isn't going to happen. And I'll tell you why. For instance, well, I'm just going to take a seat here for a moment, or with my dog in here, because let's get a proper. Let's get it so that you can see my face properly. Let's get on this side. Yeah. So people just expect things to just happen overnight. And, it's never going to happen that way. If there's anything that you want, you know that you have to build it up. Anything that's going to be really successful, it's going to have to take time. It's like, normally I like to put things into like the analogies of, say, sport. But what I'm going to do on today is like just to put it onto nature. We know for a fact that, as you can hear the birds in the background, so it's like when birds are going to have a chick, they'll mate, they'll have the egg. Then what they'll do is they'll take turns in incubating the egg. So what they'll do is they'll just sit on the egg for how long it's ever going to take, and then what they'll do is from there they're just going to make sure that the egg's warm, it's kept at the right temperature, and then from there they're just going to make sure then that it hatches out. So once it's hatched, everything hopefully will be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be a healthy baby bird. It'll be a healthy chick. So that has taken time. Then obviously it can't go out of the nest yet because it can't fly. It's got no feathers. It's as bald as a turkey, or as bald as the egg is. And then from there, the parents then will go out one by one, or they might go out at the same time, and they'll go and they'll try and get bugs, they'll get worms, they'll get all sorts of different little creatures so they can come back, so they can come back to the nest. That's Ziggy, that is, because he wants to move on. So it's going to be a quick one. So they'll come back to the nest and they will feed the bird. They'll feed their chicks. So now we're talking over a process now of a couple of months. You'll see it with penguins. You'll see it with most animals. It's a process of taking time. I know if I want to run a marathon, I'm going to have to train for it. It's going to take time. So don't be rushed into think that success is going to come to you overnight. It's about, first and foremost, taking a first step. As soon as you take that first step, obviously it's going to become easier. You're still going to have to put in the grind. You're still going to have to put in the effort. You're still going to have to put in all the hours and all the hard work. But at least you're beginning to know your trade. So don't be so impatient, because the more you rush, then you start missing things out. And you don't want to start missing things out. You want to make sure that you've got everything in place. And that's the best thing that you can do. Make sure that what you've got is worth every single minute. So basically, you are going to be either the parent, or you're going to be the egg. I'll reverse that actually. At the moment, no, you're the egg. That's what you are. You're the egg. Then when the egg hatches, and then you've been watching your parents and you've seen what they've had to do, and then you copy what they do. So it's a blueprint that they've already set up for you. And this is like following life in itself. You make sure that you follow the principles of nature by taking your time. So then after the chick is formed, and then it hatches, and then the parents come back and they keep feeding it and feeding it and feeding it, so it's getting bigger and it's getting stronger. Then it'll then take flight, and then it'll leave the nest, and then it'll become a parent itself. So we don't become parents overnight. It takes time, because if we can't look after ourselves because we're so small, we're so fragile, we wouldn't cope. So like most animals, we won't cope out there, and what will happen is you're going to get eaten or taken down by a bigger predator that sees you as easy prey. So it's just a case of then you taking time, you grow and you grow, and then when it's your turn, then you become the parent. So me saying that you're the parent first, no, you're not the parent first, you're the egg first, and you become the parent. So it is just all about just basically taking time. I'm going to carry on walking at the moment because Ziggy's getting a little bit restless. So, but as people, this is what we have to do. Just make sure that when we are going to do something, we do it to the best of our ability and we take time. Why rush? Do you just want a business that's going to be a fly-by-night business? This is when people that start business expect then they go out and run out, and then they start buying up everything. They start buying up this, they start buying up that, but they haven't got the capital. And what they should do is they should put that money that they earn straight back into the business. Not going out and buying fancy clothes, not going out and buying fancy cars, not going out and buying bottles of champagne and giving it all the la-di-da. No, you put a little bit back into the business, and hopefully if you can save a little bit, a little 10%, and keep that as a little savings for your fund, your emergency fund, just in case anything happens, because something will happen what will come and bite you in the backside, because it always does. Something might happen to the car, something might break down, something might happen where it's going to be your, I don't know, you've just got to live. Something always happens. You have to live. So just take your time. It's simple things, but sometimes we want to try and run before we can walk. We try to fly before we can actually walk or run. And it's just a case of you being sensible, being diligent, and just taking your time. And I can't say that enough. It is about just being right. Just being right so that you don't make a fool of yourself. Why should you have your business just destroyed within a couple of months because you haven't taken your time? And that's what it is. A lot of people then start, thinking that they can take the foot off the gas because it's set up. No, you can't. You keep your nose to that grindstone, especially when it's yours, when it's your own business, because you want it there for years, you want it there for centuries, you want it there so that, you've left a legacy behind for your children. It's like Ford, or say someone like Vivian Westwood. They built up something small, one small little shop, World's End. Then it sex, then turned into punk. Then they've left a legacy behind. Everybody knows Vivian Westwood. Everyone knows the name Malcolm McLaren. Everybody knows the name the Six Pistols, because it's about leaving a legacy behind and building up. Everyone knows Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious. Obviously, some of the young aren't going to know that unless they're really into their music, big, hard time, But they've left something behind, and this is what you have to do. And they didn't rush. They took their time. Even though they'll say themselves that they weren't the greatest players, They weren't the greatest singers, but they took their time. And even though they didn't last long together, they moved on to different things. But the things that they moved on in, Vivian, who was into fashion, carried on with her fashion. Malcolm, God rest his soul, was a manager. He managed other bands. So John Lydon, he decided then to form Public Limited. So, Public Limited Image, PIL, Public Image Limited. Sorry, so got all tongue tied then. And he's still doing that now. And the man is in his 60s, but he's doing what he loves, singing. But it is about taking time, because then age doesn't matter, because the time's going to pass anyhow. So just dig into what you want to do. Take your time. There is no rush. It's just going to be a headache when you sit back and then you turn around and say to yourself, you know what, I should have just taken my time. I shouldn't have rushed, because there are so many people that are out that'll tell you this and say, you know what, if I could do it all over again, I would have just taken my time. I would have took it nice and easy. I would have taken it nice and slow. I would have made sure that I had everything in order. And that's what it is. Make sure that you've got everything just right for you. Because you know what? We do keep learning. And especially when you're going into a field that you don't know anything about, especially business-wise, you might be the most creative person, but there are things that you're going to have to sort out. You're going to have to sort out your tax. You're going to have to sort out national insurance. You're going to have to get yourself an accountant. You're going to have to make sure that you've got all your inventory spot on. All your paperwork has got to be spot on. Inland revenue, get it all done. It isn't just about that little side, because it all comes together, and the more that you know about your business, the better that it will be. So yet again, just take your time. That's all it is. Because as I said, the time will pass anyhow. If you take your time and then you get to know every single part of your business, not just the pretty side, not just the creative side, but the stuff that nobody wants to do. Everything you can do online these days. You can do your tax returns online, That's all. Just keep all your receipts that you keep. Write everything down that you've spent. Every single thing, write down what you've spent on. That's all you have to do. Write everything down. Then you'll write that off against everything to the business. And if you've actually not had a great earning year at all, you don't have to pay any tax, because you haven't earned enough. But at least you're still getting to know how the structure works, how it all gets together. And if I'm a little bit wobbly at the moment, it's because Ziggy's just pulling me all over the place at the moment. He's just going crazy, sniffing. So it's just little things that we have to do as people. It's taking time, you know what? And if you do get into any sort of bother, all you have to do is just to be upfront. And there are sources out there that can help you. Just don't leave it to like there are sources where it's going to be like the Inland Revenue. They will help you. Customs and Excise, they will help you. Depending on whatever business you're going into, well, there's help there for you. You can get everything online that you need for help. So don't think it's going to be like overwhelmed. Well, you know what, it is overwhelming at the beginning because you're doing something that you've never done before, obviously. But just take your time and do little bits at a time. It could be half an hour a night, it could be 20 minutes a night. Because as I say, what's going to happen? The time's going to pass anyhow. So just take your time. So as I said, guys, it's just small things that I do, and small things that I'll say, but the small things turn out into a bigger plan. So just take it easy, take it nice. And Inspirational posts daily by Leverson. And I'm just here to give you some help and inspiration. Just say, you know what, don't give up. Just keep pushing forward and keep going. it will work out, and everything will work out depending how badly you want it. If you got this burning desire, it will happen. It will happen. It will happen. So take your time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Take it easy. See, say bye. Okay, so see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Every day. Post, leave a comment. Catch you later. 5 years. Don't remember, you know the 5 years. Bye.